Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the match reaction. Um, look, what can I say? First match reaction of the year, the start of the football curtain raiser. Arsenal 3, Man City nil. Let's say that again. Arsenal 3, Man City nil. And guys, just before I get into it, like please hit that like button and subscribe and share if you are new on the road to 2K. Sorry. Every now and again, I lose subscribers, but listen, it is what it is. But listen, it's not about that. It's about the game today, curtain raiser, um, and looking at the lineup. I mean, I was obviously on my way back home, and I was sort of kind of listening into the game. So I didn't get to see the first what 15, 20 minutes. But listen, we started off really quick, and we're hearing that it's the fastest goal in Charity Shield history after 1 minute. Calafori with a fantastic assist from Miles Lewis Skelly, playing in a double pivot alongside Bruno Guimaraes. And I'm sitting in my car, so I thought I'd go and do it in my car rather than do it inside. I thought, yeah, let's do it in the car. Normally, I do a lot of my match reactions. If you can see from last season, I did quite a few in the car, and so depending on how I feel, going forward, some you might be seeing me doing it in the car, and some you also just see me doing it in the house in the StreamYard studio. But look, let's just start off with the lineup. And just before I get into the lineup, look, our pre-season, I think this is our first clean sheet of the pre-season. The games that we played, the 4 games that we played where we conceded 8 goals. And I was quite worried going into this game, not going to lie, because, when you look at the players that we haven't got in the team, the likes of Saliba, the likes of Timber, and then you've got Declan Rice and Saka sort of being rushed back early than necessary, and it's worrying. And our performance defensively hasn't been good, and even our attacking play hasn't been brilliant either. But today we put on a really good performance. We absolutely took City to the cleaners. Absolutely took City to the cleaners. But the question is, people, are we going to clean up in the league? Or are we just going to revert back, to factory settings? I don't want to see this. On the other group chats that I've been on, I said it was a great game, but we need to take this form into the league. And listen, it's the best football I've seen in the pre-season, because other than that, I was not really happy at all with the way we played. It was almost like watching Arsenal of old from last season. Now, whether we're going to go into the new season playing like this, it was quick, decisive football, playing on the front foot, closing down. I thought it was great, but let's be honest. City were not at the races today. City was not at the races, and they've got a lot of issues in terms of the chance that they could be losing Rodri. He wasn't even in the match day squad today. And talking about players not being in the match day squad, there is we're looking at, I think it was Ethan Manreri, Gabriel Martinelli, who evidently said that he doesn't want to go to a Turkish club, Galatasaray, turned down the offer to go there. They bid 38.5 million or something like that. Ethan Manreri, again, he's been linked with Galatasaray, he's been linked with RB Leipzig, Dortmund, and just name a few clubs. And so at the moment, we don't know where he's going to end up going. There's this talk about possibly him doing a swap deal with Osherdam. We'll see what happens, but he's not in the squad today, and it looks like he will be sold or loaned out. If he's sold, we need to get a buyback clause in there. And I'm telling you, why we're getting rid of him instead of Noddy, haven't got a clue, Madwakey. This guy is the worst footballer I have seen in my entire life playing for Arsenal. I think he's worse than Sonogo. I think he's worse than Sonogo. And that is saying something, man. He's not a good footballer. And the worrying thing about that, I haven't even got into the team news, but the worrying thing about that is that, if Saka, breaks down, what we're going to do? Dalman didn't even come on today. Do you know what I mean? He's way, as far as I'm concerned, much better footballer than me. Ethan, much better football. And we know this because Ethan, you know, 2 seasons ago, came on, you know, that season, scored 10 goals when Odegaard was out and when Saka was out. But Arteta doesn't fancy him. And he's, you know, was talking about him needing game time and minutes and all of this stuff. So it looks like we're going to lose a talent, a great talent. He should be staying, and Noddy Madueke is the one that should be sold. But somehow this guy is nicking a living. You know, £50,000. He was on at Chelsea. We go and buy this guy for £50 million and give him a rise to 150,000. How? But look, let's get into the team news. Raya, great today, fantastic, some great saves, kept a clean sheet, and that's why Raya has to stay in this side. You know, Kepa, Millionaire, bro, why? Or Mesla, whatever his name is, the Leeds dodgy keeper that, why we've ended up going for this guy, I don't know. But if we end up with any of those two keepers playing for us long term, if there's a long term injury, so even a short term injury to Raya, we're in trouble. So I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll have to just wait and see what goes on there. But the team news today is Raya in goal, Ben White on the right hand side, Mosquera doubling up with Gabriel as centre backs, and Calafiori, who got the goal at left back, and then double pivot of Bruno Guimaraes, Miles Lewis-Skelly, who played absolutely fantastic today. Bruno just kept it ticking over, played as a double pivot, as a 6. And the thing for me, guys, just talking about this number 6 role, Bruno Guimaraes, I want to see this guy playing further forward. It was always going to be the case that Arteta was going to play him in the 6 and not in the 8. Now, if we're playing at home, people, and we're playing against teams that are definitely in the bottom 6, but even we should be brave enough to be playing Bruno Guimaraes further forward and Declan Rice in that 6. Going forward, it's probably going to be Bruno, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard as the midfield. But Miles Lewis-Skelly today, I thought was fantastic. This rumour about him going, he needs to stay. If Arsenal had their way, if Arteta had his way, they would probably sell him. But he has to stay because you saw what he did today. Played really well. Madueke, bro, I don't even know why this guy is even in the side, but it is what it is. Odegaard, as I said, gets a goal today. Great goal. Played really well, especially in the second half. Played really well. Solis had a great game. 2 assists. You know, he's going to be our GA. He's going to be our GA. Is he going to be the main left winger? Because we don't know what's going on with Martinelli. Or is Arteta going to be doing this thing where he swaps Madueke over on that side, which he doesn't play well at either side. Doesn't really matter. Because when we first bought him, he was meant to be playing over there. It might be that he might deploy Eze, you know, in that left-hand side. But we definitely need another left-sided top player. I don't know if we're going to get one. I don't know if we're getting with Ethan and Martinelli's future up in the air. I don't know what's going to happen there. And Kai Havertz leading the line. So they, you know, formation was they played a 4-2-3-1 formation, as I say, with the double, and it was kind of mirrored what Man City they put out a very strong side with Donnarumma in goal, Riley at left back, who obviously cuts into that midfield. Inverts into that midfield. You had Gavidal, you got Diaz, Kuzanov, Anderson making his debut in this Charity Shield with City. I mean, obviously he played in pre-season alongside Kovacic as a double pivot. Firmino on the right, Foden as the 10, and Doku on the left, and Haaland lead the line. Haaland, I think from what I understand from the stats, he only had 7 touches of the ball. He was not in the game. City was not in the game today. They were terrible. As a matter of fact, Maresca has got a lot of work, and with Rodri not being inside, I was talking with my guys on another group chat, and they were saying it just looks like them going forward, they're quite fearful in terms of not having Rodri in the middle of that park, controlling that park. They may have to go and get a big up to Gianni, who was talking. They may have to go and get maybe a Belabor from Brighton, you know, because they definitely need legs in that midfield. But to be perfectly honest, you know, Solis on that left hand side was pretty much terrorizing that that right hand side. And on the other side, I thought Ben White dealt pretty well with Doku. O'Reilly, they just weren't at the races. They were very bad, and it is concerning for them. But I think, listen, it's a glorified pre-season with a Super Cup final, like everybody wants to talk about. Yes, it's another plate that we've won, and we move. But the game in itself, Arsenal come out on the front foot, as I said. Uh, the galloping horse in California, scoring after 1 minute, a fantastic reverse pass from Miles Lewis Skelly. He was much advanced in that position when the ball was played, but we literally were in their faces. We pressed them, and we didn't sit back as we normally would do. We kept going, and we could have won this game 4 or 5-0. We could have won. But I mean, listen, Raya made some great saves from Semenyo and Haaland. Made 2 fantastic saves, and Gabby with a great block in the first half and just giving it, because he loves a tackle. Now, the worry is, like, look, Mosquera is still young. There was I think there was a point in the game where the ball came to him. He had all the time in the world just to control it. He just boots it up in the air. It didn't come to nothing, but it's just little things like that. And having that calming head of Saliba next to Gabriel Mangala is very important. But today, the defense wasn't really troubled. If truth be told, the defense wasn't really troubled, if truth be told. But look, what we're seeing here, with Martinelli and Ethan Renmeri looking like they're going to be leaving the club, we're still going to be short. There's talk about Victor Osimhen now. I'll believe it when I see it. You know me, when it comes to transfers, until I see that brother sitting down with a pen in his hand or holding up the shirt, whatever the number is, then it is what it is. Now, interestingly enough, Matty, I heard him, and we had a conversation on my way home, and he was saying that, yes, Victor Osimhen, will only show up in the games that where there's no real pressure on him. Not only that, he is injury prone as well. So that's another thing that we've got to look at. His wages, we were being linked with him. Chelsea have been linked with him for time and time, and it was his wages. And some people will say that he's got an attitude problem, but I think is the team that he's played for. I know, when he was playing for, I believe it was Napoli. He didn't go too well. And work out well with the, not say the players, but more say the management and the hierarchy. And I think the views that he was getting out there. And listen, he goes to Galatasaray. They love him. But it looks like he is a possibility that he could be, up for sale. Will we get him? Again, who knows? Listen, we got the game coming up this Friday against Coventry, the team that just come up from the Championship. Listen, let's not take them for granted. It's great that we had this game, and it will bode us well going into the Coventry game. Am I worried? I suppose before, and if I'll be honest, before, talking with DJB, I would say I was worried about the Coventry game. And I'm not going to take them lightly, but I think after this performance, do you know what I mean? Going into that, I think we will beat Coventry, but we have to really start off really quick, because our games, the first 5 games are not going to be easy. We got Chelsea, who we're going to be playing at home. We're going to be second game of the season. We're going to be going away to Aston Villa. Now they got this brother, this 17-year-old striker who played against PSG in the club, the Super Cup or whatever it was, the Club World Cup or Super Cup, I think it was. Against the Europa League champions and the Champions League champions coming together. They won it in the end, PSG. But I'm telling you, this Maju guy, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's only 17. He's a bit of a bully beef and a bit of a bully boy. So, going into that game, we have to be on it. We have to win our first 5 games, and we have to be convincing. Now, in terms of the defense, we're still apparently in talks with Kwanzaa from Bayer Leverkusen. I think he's valued at about £50 million. Again, if we look at the transfer window, we've got just maybe just under 2 weeks to go before the window closes, or maybe, you know, what were we now? The 15th or 16th, sorry, 16th. So let's just have a look at the let's look at the calendar. Let me just open my phone and look at the calendar. Let's just see the calendar. 2 6 people. I want to be sure how many weeks we definitely got. So 16th one, yeah. So 1, 2, yeah, 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks to go. So let's see what, you know, we do in that window. But look, it's a great game today. And listen, when you've got no pressure on you, look, everybody, we want to win the game today. It's Man City, so you're going to step it up a little bit. But it's really where it's going to really matter, guys, is in the Premier League. And we have to decide, are we going to play like this, or are we going to revert back to factory settings? That is the question. We cleaned up City today, but are we going to clean up in the league? Are we going to go back to factory settings? I don't want to see it. You know, Odegaard, you played well today. But when it matters in those tough games, those away games, when you're being pressed, do you know what I mean? This is where I need to see you step up as a captain. I don't want to be seeing you getting hooked, you know, like you did last season. Captain Hook. That's what your nickname was, Captain Hook. So I don't want to see that happening. And just in terms of, you know, the players that did come on, Gokra's, the changes that came on. So if I just go through the changes, just going into my one football and just looking at who came on for who. So Declan Rice came on for Bruno. He just dropped back in the 6. For where was it? Let's go. Saka came on in the 60th minute for Dodi Badwake. Thank God. Saka didn't really do too much. There was a chance that he had, could have squared it, but decided he was going to hit it, and then I don't know what happened there. Pierre Nketiah came on for Calafiori. As again, Calafiori going forward is absolutely fantastic. To be honest, he had a good defensive game today, so I'm not going to knock him down for that. Zubimendi came on for Miles Lewis-Skelly in the 75th minute, so Miles Lewis-Skelly had a real good run out against, you know, a supposed to be top team. And Victor Gyokeres came on with him for Kai Havertz, who got a goal, 2 assists from Solace. I have to call him tonsillitis, but today I'm going to call you Solace, yeah? Because you got 2 assists, headed assists to give Kai, you know, the I think it was the second goal, because Odegaard, who sat down Donnarumma, you know, a great, again, another assist from Solace, and he sits Donnarumma down on the floor and slots it away. And that's what I want to see from you. Pillar foot. That's what we want to see from you. That's what we want to see from you. And then Martin Odegaard comes off in the 84th minute. So we know that he's going to be the starting. He's going to be one of the starting 3. Eze came on in the 84th minute. And basically, we see out the game. We lift the charity shield. We have a great sing along, North London forever and all that rubbish. You know what I mean? That's their song. They want to sing it, they can sing it. But look, we've done it. We win 3-0 and we move. So as I said, the opening game this Friday, the opening game of the season, where we are at home to Coventry City. I want to see this kind of performance. I think if we play like this, then we will definitely give Coventry a game, and I think we will definitely win that game. But people, thanks for listening. And listen, as I say, I'll be doing these match reactions when I can, as much as I can. Obviously, there are going to be games where you know, we will be doing a joint watch along, myself and DJB. Probably more, it's going to be mostly on his channel. So whenever we're probably playing away games, because DJB goes to a lot of the home games, or majority of the home games, should I say, unless something comes up. So we will be looking to do a couple of watch-alongs this season. So look out for that. I'm really going to be looking forward to doing that and doing the normal match reactions after the games. So I'm really pleased I'm really pleased with the way we played today. Are we going to be able to keep it up? Listen, Arsenal 3, City 0. We take City to the cleaners, but are we going to clean up in the league? Listen, take care, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next match reaction. Take care, and God bless.